Now, as I mentioned at the top of the program, Anthony Albanese has been humiliated for the second time in as many weeks. First in Vanuatu, where he failed to seal the deal there on a security agreement. And now in Papua New Guinea, where the signing of a defence treaty has been delayed. A lot can change in 24 hours. The PM was all smiles yesterday, saying everything was going to come together. Here he was with Kieran Gilbert.
The Cabinet hasn't authorised it yet, Marape's Cabinet. Should we be concerned by that, or are they
They're all off celebrating. That's the thing. They all went to their respective homelands, and so they didn't have quorum at the Cabinet meeting, and that's understandable. This is about celebrating 50 years.
You're not worried about it?
No,
the treaty will crack on?
Not at all.
Yeah, they're all off celebrating, but they didn't come back and sign it today. Let's go to Michael Shoebridge from Strategic Analysis Australia, joins us from Canberra. How much of a setback is this, Michael? Both Anthony Albanese and the PNG Prime Minister Marape say it will be signed in a matter of days or weeks once their PNG Cabinet has ratified it.
Well, Chris, you mentioned the Prime Minister failing to get that other big bilateral deal with Vanuatu signed just a week ago, and now we've got this with PNG. It reminds me of that saying, for a Prime Minister to turn up in one country and fail to get a big deal done is understandable. For him to turn up in two countries and fail to get deals done smacks of carelessness. So, this one, who advised him to sign a big new defence treaty with Papua New Guinea on the 50th anniversary of Papua New Guinea declaring independence from Australia? If ever there was a time for sovereignty sensitivities to be peaking in PNG, it's right when they're looking back 50 years ago to when we ran the place.
Yeah, it's absolutely a failure. That's a very good point on the timing. It's absolutely a failure of diplomacy. To set up for a signing like this and then for it to fail is dismal. I only imagine what merry hell Labor would make in opposition if this was a coalition government. To what extent do you believe the tentacles of China could be trying to undermine this deal, as we believe they were in Vanuatu?
Well, now that the Prime Minister has opened the door to this whole thing unravelling, the prospects of China playing a big hand are very real. We heard from PNG's Prime Minister Marape, don't worry, everything's on track, but actually I'm sending my Defence Minister right now to go to China to explain this deal. And then he said everyone should respect China, and he's got a one China policy. They're so important to him. So China now has leverage over this treaty.
Just while we're on China, what do you make of the Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen's trip to China, and is she being used for Chinese propaganda purposes, or will Victoria benefit greatly out of this?
Look, Jacinta Allen is going down the same cul-de-sac on China that Dan Andrews did. She seems to have learnt nothing from that experience. She again is saying, as a state leader, I've only got to worry about jobs and I love China. She's out of step with the bigger security picture on China, and she doesn't seem to care. That's all bad news for cohesive policy in Australia on China.
David, thanks for joining us. David, Michael Shoebridge, sorry. I always make that mistake with your brother. Of course, we'll have to get your brother on soon, but that's Michael Shoebridge from Strategic Analysis Australia. His brother is David Shoebridge, the Greens Senator for New South Wales.